This is the third upload. Surprised I'm doing two in one day, but I found that this is kind of like therapy. I haven't had a really good therapist since Rolando left. But I do have my caseworker. I tell her everything. She's awesome, man. Gives me lots of advice, and she's also always concerned about me. It's really funny because when I had the coma, I went through a period where I had a really worse sense of direction, and I would get lost, or I just couldn't remember things. And she still thinks that I'm in that place. So often she's surprised. I tell her, "Oh, I took the train to my friend's house." She's like, "Where was that?" And I'll say, "So and so." She said, "Oh, you made it by yourself." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not stupid," but I understand where the concern is coming from, so I don't falter. I'm eating peanut butter. Love it. I want more of my teen years when I started camp that was connected to a Catholic school, the school throughout the year. And then during the summer, there was a week off. When you get out of school, it's a week off, and then the entire summer the camp, and then come back, spend a week, and then back to school. Um, so in military school camp, it was church 7 days a week. I sang in a choir. I did very well. I was an altar boy as well, and come home, it was church 3 to 4 nights a week, 3 or 4 days a week with religious instructions. Again on Sunday, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like 5 times where you just got religion, 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 religion. Now, when I got out of got to high school age, um, I went to a regular high school. Now, I wasn't really. I mean, I hate to use the word normal, but other normal kids. I thought life was church and military. That was it. When I went to high school, I was shocked. I remember how uh, it just seemed wild. A lot of black and Spanish people. I wasn't accustomed to it. Military camp had like a lot of white boys. I was the only Hispanic, um, which I didn't understand when they would tell me you're different. You're not like them. I found out what they meant. I said, okay, I see. I'm not like these guys. Um, so I remember my first day walking towards the school. A girl was sitting on right by the train station, and she said, "How you doing, homeboy?" And I just said, "Homeboy? She doesn't live in my home. What the fuck is she talking about?" Then some guy came up behind me and said, "Give me your money," and he pointed something in my back like a gun, and I turned around and I said, "Well, you gotta kill me because I ain't got no money, brother." And he just laughed and took off. And I said, "Well, this is high school, you know." My sister, she did well. She was very pretty. Um, she joined the fashion club. She really rocked it. We both joined the drama club together. I made it a point to join every club I could to get out of the house with some of the more artistic people, a couple of rockers, a couple of punk rockers as well. Um, we'd hang out. Sometimes we'd go to the park, play guitar, smoke some weed. I remember once we cut out of class, we went to a bar that was playing some kind of punk rock band. That was fucking awesome, man. Um, I was starting to change. I wanted to rebel. I didn't care if my parents whooped my ass. I could take it. I was desensitized. I don't care. It doesn't hurt. The belt doesn't hurt. The punches doesn't hurt. The slaps don't hurt. None of it. None of it. Not anymore. I gotta break free. So I remember one day we were going to church, of course on a Sunday, and I was wearing a pair of pants with a lot of paint on them, and I had some ripped up T-shirts, and I had behind my parents' back, I had one of the punk rock boys put a safety pin in my ear. So I popped that safety pin in. I'm dressing all punk, coming down the stairs. Dad's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to church." And he said, "You're not going to church like that. Go up and change." I said, "Why not?" I said, "God accepts everyone, prostitutes, sinners, everyone. Why is he going to judge me because I'm dressed like this?" And he goes, "Well, you're not going to church." I said, "All right, fine, great, point taken." Never went to church after that. I stayed home and I cleaned, mowed the lawn, um, did whatever I can to not have to go to church, watch TV. We weren't really allowed to watch TV. Often my father would take the plug to the television so we couldn't see anything. But during church, the shows that were on were old black and white movies, and I love them. I just gotta just to love them, just romantic, love them, beautiful. So I got to see that a little peace and quiet. Um, um, like I would hang out. I was introduced to the Ramones, hanging out with the this one cute blonde. She invited me up to her apartment, and I was like, "Well, that's kind of weird. Your mother's gonna let me come up?" And she's like, "Nah, it's cool." So we're up there, and she's playing "I Want to Be Sedated" and like all their hot jams, and I'm like, "Wow, this is so cool." Met this Italian girl. I don't know how I got started smoking weed. This Italian girl, and we were coming from drama class, straight from Italy, and she says, I got some weed. I'm like, awesome, let's get high. And I'm walking home. I'm like, but where we gonna get high? My father's a cop and stuff. She goes, I know. In that building, underneath the stairs, we'll go, we'll smoke, and then from there we go our way. I said, all right. So we go under the stairs. We're smoking like idiots, and we hear someone, hey, saying, hey, what's going on there? Get out! And we scatter like mice. Um, just those, fun young high school moments. Fast forward, I went to a reunion. Yeah, and they introduced me to the B-52s. The B-52s, that's my band, man. I actually did a piece of artwork for a VJ that works for the B-52s. It's the closest I've got to them. But I'm gonna once I get my computer because my laptop is damaged. Because when I was at the healthcare facility, I used to carry it with me everywhere, even in the rain, because I don't want to steal stuff, and now it has water damage, so I have to get a new one. But I'm not going to get a Mac; it's too expensive. I can get a PC. I can do the same thing on a PC. So it's like what, $400? That's good. I want to go back to doing the digital art and music because I also make music on the music software, and I want to combine that into a system called Flash, which is where I do the illustrations, which is also for animation, and you can also add music you create. So I want to sync a cartoon, an animation, but my artwork's pretty good. I don't have access to my Facebook page. Because it's in the computer and I don't know my password, but it's Eric Rivera Illustrator. If you want, ever want to see the art, um, it was kind of a thing I developed because when I had lost my job, I had lost my job when I lost my ankle. I worked for 15 years at Merrill Lynch. I've been running 7:15, 5 miles a day. So I was running a corporate marathon for them, and by the way, out of 5,000, I came out seven. So I think that's pretty damn good. So we're running the marathon, and somewhere towards the end, I feel a snap. I run towards the end in pain. I made it. The Irish guy was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, we made it, blah, blah, blah. Let's go out for drinks." I'm like, "Dude, I can't, I'm in pain." And he's like offended that I won't go to drink. And I'm like, "No, I'm in pain and I got to take the train." So for 2 weeks, I walked around um, in pain. I went to doctors. All they did was put it in heat or put it in cold. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Then I went to a specialist, and then he broke it to me, and he said, "You have to we have to saw off your ankle and replace it with a cadaver mole." I was like, "Oh, all right. This is not how I expected to be at 40. You work hard all your life, you exercise, and this is it. I'm immobile. I can't believe this." So he said, "You have an 80% chance of ever walking again. Um, do you want to do the operation?" I said, "Listen, 80 is better than nothing." I said, "What are my options if I don't?" He said, "Well, eventually it'll deteriorate. You'll wind up in a wheelchair, and then you'll be in the wheelchair in a brace for the rest of your life." I said, "Well, nope, I don't want to go that route. Do it. Let's do this." Very expensive operation. I had good insurance. I worked at Merrill Lynch for 15 years. We go ahead with it. I wake up crying. I hadn't cried since I was a boy. The pain was fucking atrocious, man. I was crying and screaming for meds. Give me pills. Give me everything. Um, so when I come to, they say you have to go to a psychiatrist because of the trauma. Um, and I said, when will I start walking again? And then he said, probably in a year, and you'll probably heal in a year. So I was walking in a month, healing within a month, back in the gym, working my ass off. That's where I got in trouble. I was working out 6 times a day. The psychiatrist said I was bipolar manic. But so yeah, that's why I have that little ankle thing. Um, I had my kneecap replaced I got two titanium bars on the side of my calves and two titanium bars on the side of my thighs and like a kneecap, I guess like a ball bearing or some bullshit. I don't know. I'm transhuman. So when I was bashed, I was working the door of a gay club. It was a rap night. Um, and there was these six Italian guys that wanted to come in. Um, I knew there was trouble, so I wouldn't let them in. End of the night, I'm the only one. I'm closing up. I'm going home. I'm walking down by the highway. Um, got hit. The three guys in the distance coming in my direction. Turn around. I see three guys in the distance from back in the back direction, and then I look on the street and I see a guy on a bike going back and forth. And I said, "All right, this is the day I die." And if you keep up, I'll be saying that a lot. So they they come up to me. They say, "Give me your money." And being an arrogant fuck that I am, I said, "Here." And I took it and I stuck it in the grill. I said, and I had like some tokens, and I said, "And take these too." And I threw them down the grill. It was like $100 and a bag of tokens. Um, and that just set them off. That was stupid. Never antagonize someone when they say that. They started punching me, kicking me, punching me in the face. Me down to the ground, kicking me in the face, picked me back up. One guy held me up, um, and two guys pushed my back down. One guy held my head. I had like this metal bar or a bat, I think it was a pipe rather, and he went to swing, and I guess he went to swing to hit my, and then I pushed up, and then he hit my kneecap, and I went down, down. That's they continued to kick me. They rolled me in the street to get run over by traffic. One car drove by and laughed while they're pointing. No one stopped. Blood on my face. Um, then they scatter and take off, and then out of nowhere, someone picks me up, scoops me up, a woman. Um, and back then it wasn't a big cell phone day, so they had payphones a lot. So she walks me to the payphone. She puts me there. She calls the cops. And then I said, "Baby, baby, baby, be careful, be careful. They're still around here. They're still around here. They're gonna get you too." And then she said, "Don't worry about me." And then she opened up her bag and she had a hammer. And I said, "You know what? Will you marry me? Okay, you are fucking awesome. We're good." So she sits with me. Um, the cops come. I notice my leg starts ballooning like a football, not a football, rather a basketball. But I still don't feel the pain from the knee. When you're in shock, all that, either maybe I'm desensitized from the beatings, but when you're in shock, you don't really feel it right then and there. So they come, she waits. They go to take me. I grab her and I said, "Listen, you saved my life. You're an angel. What's your name?" And she said, "Ralph." So apparently, Ralph was a drag queen, um, which taught me, and hopefully you never know who's going to save your life. You can't be judgmental. Um, Bring me to the hospital. They put me in bed. Turn my head. I see a guy with his eyes gouged out, and I'm take care of him first. Please take care of him first. And they're like, "No, no, no, he's good. We got you." So that's where the kneecap comes in. So I have a bit of a limp. I walk funny. Um, I don't care. I'm proud. I can fucking walk. I'm up. Out of the 12 people at the time that had the operation, I was the only one walking. They did a documentary to just, what I went through, I guess, to promote that kind of surgery because it was like a 6-hour surgery with like 8 surgeons or something like that. It was kind of new at the time. So, and they had me on a list. So, if someone's going to get the surgery, they can call me and discuss it with me to see if they want to get it or not. So I think I did pretty good there. I think I handled it well. So I'm proud of me. My best friend's always mocking me. He's always telling me, "Walk better. You're compensating." And I'm always telling me I can't compensate for what I don't have. I don't have my normal ankle. You know, leave me alone. Um, I tell, like on dates and stuff like that, or when I discuss with other guys to discuss going on dates, I tell them everything, 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 my entire experience, because you know what? It's who the fuck I am. It's who the fuck I am. If you can't accept me, I don't care. I can't accept you. I won't accept you. My best friend tells me, "Well, you should wait till you get to know you and then tell them." And I said, "Yeah, but then what happens is that if you strike up a really good, solid relationship and you tell them the truth, you're viewed as having omitted the truth, and there's no trust. So they have to know who they're dealing with, and I have no issues about that. I'm not proud. I've lost a couple of dates because of that. Everything's great. Um, but when I meet and we talk and we discuss that, it just scares him. It just, for some reason, it frightens him, and tells me that you're just not fucking man enough to handle me. That's what it tells me, and I don't care. I mean, I've been in 5 relationships, each 5 years apart. 5 years, 5 years. Not one of them has told me I love you, even though I say I love you to them. Um, and I'm learning how to love myself. You know, am I the best looking guy in the world? No, I'm the best looking guy in the room. And why is that? Because I'm the only guy in the room. So right now, so I don't look myself in the mirror often, which is weird that I have to do this, but this is good for me. I had a trainer that told me, you should look at your body. And I'm like, I don't. I don't look at my body. I don't look at my face. He goes, if you don't look at your body, you're not going to know your progress because you're making progress. And I said, oh, okay. I want to hear that. I want to hear that. So I'm going to get that laptop and I'm going to start creating art again. I developed a kind of a way of drawing from like when I had lost my job, I had some money. I had some money saved up and lost a lot of it because they let me go when they thought, because you see, they were supposed to do an operation on the other leg. It wasn't as bad, but they said, since we're doing this, let's do that. And I said, no, because how am I going to heal? How am I going to walk if both legs are fucked up? Let's just leave it alone. So now I use, what do you call those? Insoles. So it doesn't get worse because my feet are flat. So, what the fuck was my point? So I'm walking. I'm happy. I'm proud. I don't care. It's who I am. I'm a good person. I'm a kind person. My partners have labeled me, all of them, husband material, but they have never given me that as far as loyalty. Uh, in response, I've cooked for them. I've cleaned for them. I massage them. I go out shopping for them. I do it all. But my best friend who passed away told me that's the problem. He said, you're too nice. You have to be bad. You have to be bad. That's what will attract and keep them. I said, well, that's not who I am. I'm not gonna go screwing around. I'm not gonna be doing this shit. I don't care. Even if they screw around, that's them. That's them. I've got principles. They're not gonna turn me into them. I am who I am. And they've all screwed around, and I waited to the end to leave them, and that was it. I think that's how it should be done. For Christ's sake, if you can't handle one fucking person, how are you gonna handle two? It's ridiculous. So I want some more peanut butter. And so that's just the way I roll, Maybe one day I'll meet the love of my life. I'm romantic. I'm never going to give that up. You give up hope, you have nothing. And hope has carried me through a lot. So anyway, I was rebelling. I was getting working a lot. I was going to drama club. I had all these club things going on. I was doing volunteer work. I was working. I was going to school. Towards my last year, the rumor was that the last year gets easier, which it did. So that made it even more fun. Towards the end, they were doing the whole prom thing. And I didn't want to spend money on the ring. I thought that was kind of stupid. So I didn't get the ring. I forgot to save some money there. And I was involved with the yearbook. So I did some artwork for the yearbook as well. Stupid picture that's in there immortalized is me sniffing fucking glue, which I should have never done that because it's in there. So, which I wasn't really doing it to get high. It was just a joke. So, one of the girls that hung out with the punk rock crowd was my neighbor around the corner. Every now and then we used to smoke a little weed. Beautiful, beautiful blonde girl. Everyone wanted her, but she was with a guy that was going into the military, a very handsome guy who was also good friends with me as well. I knew her whole family. And she needed a date. And I'm like, great, let's do this, She said, great, you'll be my date. So I'm like, great, I got some fucking arm candy, man. Everyone's going to look at me, So working, trying to get that money together, I met this girl in my travel and tourism class, and she said, you look, kind of tired, like you need some energy. And I said, yeah, I do. And she's like, here. And I'm like, what's this? She's like, it's a pill. And I'm like, what's it called? And she's like, it's an upper. I said, for me? She said, yes. She said, try it. I took it. I was zooming. The next day I was zooming. The next day I see her And I'm like, hey, you got any more uppers? She said, yeah, 50 cents. I said, awesome, I'm making money. Give me, give me, give me. So I was like popping uppers. I was doing all this, running around to these clubs, volunteer work. I'm doing my homework. I was a straight A student, a really smart punk rocker, but smart as fuck. So um, my father notices this. And he says, son, you're overextending yourself. He said, why? And I said, listen, Pops, I need this money for the limo. I'm in the limo with two other couples, me and Maria and the other two couples. And my family knew who they were. So he said, listen, just stop the job. He said, I'll pay you the money. How much do you need? I said, well, I need 300 for the limo. Everything else, the suit, the fees, everything, the book, I paid for it. So he said, all right, you got the 300. So come time to get the money together to go, I said, Pops, about the 300. And he said, what 300? I'm like, dude, the 300 you said you'd give me. And he goes, well, I'm not going to give it to you. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he said, well, I'm not. I don't remember. I said, you told me. I was there. I said, you told me. He said, well, I'm not going to give it to you. And I said, well, dude, why did you tell me that? I would have never quit my job. I would have had the money. And he goes, well, I can't help you. So that just fucking infuriated. It just reminded me of the all the times as a kid where I would have a toy and they would just take it away. It was just like, can't anymore, can't. So he was a cop, and every time he took a shower, he'd put his gun on top of the toilet bowl. So when he was taking a shower, knock on the door, I'm like, Dad, do you mind if I take a piss? He said, right in there. I go off to work. He had two guns, but only went with one gun. Then he comes back like maybe an hour later. I'm still in my room, locked the door, and he walks up the stairs, knocks on the door, and he's like, son, my gun. And I said, Dad, my money. And he said, I don't have the money. I said, get the money. And he goes, well, I'm not going to give it to you. And I said, well, then I'm not going to give you the gun. And at the bottom of the stairs, my mother's screaming, please, please, don't shoot, don't shoot. And I said, I'm not going to give you the gun. I want the money under the door in an envelope, $300. Gets quiet. He takes off for an hour, comes back. I see envelope, slips. I open the door, handle it done, lock the fucking door because I'm like, this. If I let this motherfucker in here, he's gonna fucking kill me. So I lock the door, stay there for a couple of hours, and then I slip around, right around the corner to see Maria, and I said, look, I got the money, let's get high. So I was in for the prom, so that was good. So, but prior to the prom, we had a drama show. We had some show we had to put on, and my mother instigated some sort of stupid argument. I don't even remember what it was about. And my father came in a bad mood and pushed me inside of the closet, and I pushed him back, and he punched me in the face and gave me a black eye. And I'm thinking, I got a fucking performance. But you know what? The fucking show must go on. I'm going. I'm going to do the show. So I'm going to school, which is a couple of blocks away. And my father comes with me, I guess, to make sure I don't, rat him out. So when I get there, the drama teacher's like, what's wrong with your eye? And I said, no, I was playing frisbee and I got hit, in the eye. And then the girl from the prom looks at me and she looks at my father and she feels, senses something is wrong. So she grabs me, takes me in the back, and she says, don't worry, don't worry. We're on stage. That's what makeup is made for. And then she put makeup on my face and the show went on. Um, but that was, we used to cut out of class. There was this guy that was older. I was like, Jesus Christ. We used to go to the basement of some apartment and like buy beers and get high and smoke weed and listen to like punk rock music. And I was like, Jesus, this guy's like 22, and we're in high school. So I never understood that. There was one party, I got a job, uh, the job at the deli, the one that my father had told me to quit. Um, and there was this huge party. This rich guy was throwing it. And it was in the rich side of the neighborhood, and it was just gonna be total rock and roll. Like everyone, all the rockers were gonna be there. So I said, "Oh, this is fucking awesome! I gotta come to this party, but you gotta bring something." So I told a friend of mine. I said, "I want to drop by. I'll be working. What time is the party?" And he said, "This is the party." So I said, "Listen, I gotta bring something." So I steal. Okay, it was wrong, but I was a stupid kid. I steal two cases of beer. I take a case and I put it in the garbage. I bring it up to throw it out, and I do the same with the other case. And then when they close the bar, I go back and I take the two cases to the apartment. Thank God it wasn't that far. So when I open the door, they see me. They're like, "Eric's here. The party started." So I was like, yeah, I was part of the tribe, part of the club. I mean, it's I crave that. I crave that. My father never let me play with kids when I was younger. Um, I grew up like flowers in the attic, looking out my window, watching kids play, So this is awesome, Um, but it was a makeout party, and here I am, this gay guy, and I'm like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Everyone's got a partner. The music is low, the atmosphere is right, everyone's sitting down, they're making out here or making out there, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. Um, so there was this one girl I remember. She was sitting by herself. I knew her from the makeup club. From the drama club. She was kind of chunky, so they kind of put me with her, and they sit me next to her. So I look at her and I'm like, well, I guess we're gonna have to kiss, right? She said, yeah, we do. So she takes a pillow and puts it in front of our faces, like we attempt to like fake kiss. It was the weirdest, most awkward thing, but we did it, and I was part of the crowd, and that was my initiation, I guess, into straight society or whatever. Um, so that was fun. That was cool. So towards the end, I remember winning a prize. I think it was like $500 or something for I don't know what for being like fucking brilliant or something. I don't know. So and I got to sing with my cousin on stage. I think it was called I Believe or something like that. And it was so funny because I grabbed that mic when it was my turn. Like I almost knocked it out of her hand because I just wanted to just belt at that too. So we're getting older. I'm hanging out with this other lesbian punk rocker. Um, she had green hair, leather jacket. She was really cool. And there was this other all guy. Apparently, he was in a gang, but kind of went to high school also. But he ran with a different crowd. Um, he wasn't that very good at class and stuff like that. But he did his thing. I guess he made it or whatever. So she's got my father. I didn't want to live at home anymore. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. My dad's telling me, what are your plans for the future? And I said, well, I want to go to art school. And he said, well, here are your options: become a cop or become a priest. I said, well, I'm not going to jump in front of a bullet, and I'm never going to not going to go without sex for the rest of my life. So those two things are out. So I'm gonna have to leave. My mother is crying. But I get a one-room apartment, a couple blocks away. So it was free. First thing I did, three big, huge beers and keep them outside the window ledge. Um, so Liz would hang out with her little lesbian friends and stuff like that, and get high and all that. And she introduces me to tall, handsome guy. Mm, he's hanging out with us and stuff like that. And I remember him because he was in a drama club show, and I had to wear tights. And I remember being in the bathroom and looking up and seeing him peering over at me, which I thought was weird, because I wasn't really sexual like the other kids were. So she said he likes you, and my heart skipped a beat. I said, somebody likes me. I said, to get a hug, to get a kiss from anyone, from someone. Just straight people don't understand that. Gay people, they do understand love. They do need love too. You know. So I remember we were walking down the train station, and he just looks at me, grabs me, kisses me, and I look at him, and immediately I fall in love. I say to myself, if I'm gay, I can't live here. Everyone knows me. Everyone knows me. I have to get out of here. So I tell him I had a job in the bank, wasn't very good at math. So I said, I have nothing holding me back here. I tell him, listen, I'm going to California. I got to get out of here. I've always wanted to go. I want to be famous. I want to be an actor. I want to do whatever. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't care. This is how it's done. I said, it's a knapsack on my back. I've got $500. Let's go. Take a bus and then hitchhike. Um, and he says, all right, let's do this. So I got my little Casio player with my tape and pack up my bags, get on the bus. We go up. We ride all the way. Chicago's a big city. You want to do that. Hitchhiked out of Chicago, and then from there, hitchhiked all the way to California. Wherever we stopped, we'd get off and we'd hitchhike again.